Yo, what's up guys? It's your boy Franklin here, and today I actually have a tournament game replay of you guys to showcase. It's round 1 of the Pokemon Central Facebook group tournament. Basically the winner gets $20, and I believe 16 people joined in this tournament, so it's not a big ass tournament. But of course when there's $20 is $20. And I initially did not want to participate in this because at this point I was just burnt with Pokemon. I wanted to play other games besides Pokemon. But I decided to join just to see how I would fare in this tournament. And we have round 1 versus Alex Ochoa, who's obviously you guys see his opposing team. And we're going to talk about the teams for a little bit. So this team here, I've been using this team on Wi-Fi and my eventual climb to a pretty good portion of the high ladder on Showdown OU, BDSP, of course, OU. And looking at his team, obviously I see a Smeargle, so that automatically makes me believe that it's, of course, a Sticky Web hyper offensive team. But I knew this team looked very familiar because once he uploaded this against me, I was like, wait a minute, I've seen this team before. And it turns out it is a sample team. So I kind of knew like a good chunk of his team. Obviously, this is Life Orb, Nidoking, Dual Hazard, Spore, Nuzzle, Smeargle, Nasty Plot, Mew, Belly Drum, Azumarill. You have Dragon Dance, T-Tar with Lumberry, I believe. And you have Life Orb, SD, Lucario. So I already knew a lot about the team, and of course the team I'm using here, as you guys can see, you guys have seen this team in action before on Wi-Fi. So I've been using this team just to test it, see how it is, and against a team like this. So obviously the biggest problem with me is getting webs and rocks up against me, because if I get my webs, if webs are up against me, I have a pretty big problem with a good chunk of his team. Because the only Scarfer on my team is Breloom, and Gengar is Choice Specs. Infernape and Dragonite are both Choice Banded, and I need that, enough speed and muscle power to destroy his team. So I lead off with Breloom because I've had a feeling like he's gonna lead off with Smeargle. There's no reason for him to lead off with other Pokemon because he's trying to set up hazards on my team. Now, according to the calculation, Breloom, 3 bullet seed hits against Smeargle would knock this thing out. So the odds of me getting anything above 2 hits is pretty well in my favor. And if I'm able to do that, I'm able to knock out a Smeargle. So that actually ends up happening. The first one did 50 and then 48, and then it just drops Smeargle. So I got 3 hits, which is pretty cool. No hazards. Nidoking, I'm going to save my Breloom because this Choice Scarf, it's able to outspeed a good chunk of the team. And it does pretty well against this team. So obviously I had to switch to my Empoleon because the only defensive answer to this Nidoking, and so he obliterates it. Of course, I get my Rock Slide, which is nice. I can just chip away his team. In comes the Infernape, Choice Banded, Flare Blitz destroys this thing. In comes the T-Tar. Now I stay in. I switch out, because I don't want to lose my Infernape yet. So obviously I go into my Breloom here, and I take the opportunity to Spore the Mew that was switched into, and it obviously burns 1 turn to sleep. Now we have Sand and Rocks up. I go back into my Infernape here. Now Infernape is a pretty good Pokemon against his team, even though he has a fat ass Azu. Because Banded Flare Blitz pretty much 2-hit KOs, 3-hit KOs his entire team. If I'm able to weaken Azu, it has to activate his Citrus Berry, meaning that he can't really belly drum anymore. So that he loses a lot of offensive power on his team because of this Pokemon. So I decided to stay in and just Flare Blitz because it's the only thing I can do at this point. I didn't want to use U-turn. I could have, but luckily because of Flare Blitz, it does a lot of damage. Activated Citrus Berry. Now I Flare Blitz again, and I get lucky here because I get the burn, which I don't think it really mattered hindsight because he wasn't gonna belly drum. So now this Azu drops dead because of the burn. I go into my Dragonite because honestly, looking at his team, he could have gone to T-Tar, but T-Tar gets mauled by Breloom and Donphan, and this is a banded Dragonite with Earthquake, so it will die in 1 hit, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, after a second damage of rocks. Lucario drops dead. So Mew is pretty much kind of like one of his only hopes. So he wakes up, he goes for a nasty plot, and I believe I go for an Earthquake, which does 56, which is a lot of damage, which obviously because this is an offensive Mew. He goes for a nasty plot, then Sidekick, which doesn't kill me because of multi-scale, and I knock him out with the second Earthquake. And he comes Lucario, Meteor Mashes me up, and he gets a +1 in attack. He's obviously faster than me, so I go, I drop dead. So you saw that he missed the Meteor Mash here. Now, in hindsight, it didn't really matter whether it missed or not, because here's the issue. If this Meteor Mash connects, I do have my Sturdy, and even then, I don't think it would drop me all the way down to 1 HP. And Donphan will just straight up murk this thing with an Earthquake. Now, let's say in that scenario, he does drop me down to my 1 HP because of Sturdy. Lucario obviously dies. He has to go into T-Tar. I click Earthquake on Tyranitar, and I'm pretty sure it's dead. And even if it doesn't die, if it has maybe a couple HP left, I can just Ice Shard it away. If that isn't the case, and he kills me without Dragon Dancing setup, I do have my Breloom who's Scarf, and it does have Force Palm, which is able to KO this. So, I don't think the miss really mattered in the end, because Donphan was able to knock this out. And if you wanted to Dragon Dance up on me, you'd have to take an Earthquake from Donphan, which I don't think it takes an Earthquake very well. I mean, as you can see in this scenario, he obviously misses, and then he goes for a Crunch, which does 33, and then, just knocks me out right there. Pretty much I knock him out from essentially from full by doing the damage calcs. So yeah, the Meteor Mash definitely kind of sucked. The miss sucked, but I do think that regardless, I was going to win with Scarf Breloom, which is why I kept him in the back. And Gengar is just there. Gengar pretty much, once T-Tar was gone, Shadow Ball, sweep was about to happen. So anyways, that's it. The game lasted for 15 turns. So it was just pretty careful planning. Pretty much winning that lead matchup, Breloom versus Smeargle, definitely decided the outcome of the battle, because now without Hazard on my side of the field, it made things a lot easier to deal with. So anyways, guys, that was the first round. Looking forward to make more videos like this. See you guys on the flip side.